Alright, this is another Comedy Catch-Up episode. I don't want to say the number because I don't know which number it is because I'm doing like a few of these videos in a row and then uploading them all after I edit them. And that's why I'm going to be in the same clothes for all of them. So this one, as you can probably tell, this is just The Fighter and the Kid. They had 2 episodes this week with just Bryan and Brendan, no guests this week. And it was, not a bad week. There was no more talk about the whole, there were at least no hinting or anything towards or cues to issues with The Fighter and the Kid. I know I mentioned it. I've talked about it a few times before in other podcasts because it's kind of fun just to kind of talk about and whatever. But maybe they go through some highs and lows, but at least this week, nothing really signaled to Fighter and the Kid breaking up or kind of transition into anything else. I think, I don't know, if something does happen, it'll probably end up as like a big surprise. Because all of a sudden it's just like, and it's changed. It's kind of like when they scare off an intern, and all of a sudden it's like, and she's gone. And now there's a new intern. And nobody mentioned why the other one left, or that the other one left or anything, and all of a sudden there's just a new one. So it'll probably end up something like that. They mentioned, though, that there's a fight companion coming up, so that'll be really awesome for a Bellator fight. I think they said it was for a Fedor fight. I don't remember. I didn't write it down because I'm an idiot. But that'll be good. I don't know if anybody else likes watching them. I like watching them, but I never watch them like as a fight companion. They don't make sense to watch as a fight companion, right? Because they spend the whole time talking about bodybuilders, talking about Ronnie Coleman. That's fine for me, because that's what I spend all my time doing too. But it's a fight companion, so you should probably watch the fights, show the timer, so that people can actually track and follow along with the fuck's going on. They've really kind of just fallen apart towards just Joe and his friends hanging out with a fight playing in the background, which is like, that's cool too, because it's, that's like what we kind of all do when we watch fights with our friends, fights with the boys. Anyways, so, but yeah, so there's a fight companion coming up. There was kind of a Fritz Haber moment this week with the podcast with Bryan. I don't know if anyone has seen the video. Someone made a compilation video on YouTube of Joe and Bryan talking about or explaining Fritz Haber, and it's like 5 times Bryan's on the podcast or some shit, and they talk about it as if it's the first time they've ever discussed it together, and it's hilarious because it's like they go through the whole backstory and the lead up and of describing his life and everything, what he did. And every time it's like, oh wow, really? Oh yeah. It's funny. I'm not doing it any justice describing it. It sounds terrible now. But so there was that kind of moment this week here. I'll play the first clip here.
I'm thinking about next week just because I want to impress my son. He's so obsessed with trucks, and I do need another car just for a driver. I'm going to get a Raptor. You know what that is? Ford Raptor.
Yeah, it's a truck. Yeah.
My son's going to go crazy over it.
You're getting a Raptor?
Yeah.
You need another car anyway because you drive that. What I admire about you is you drive that impossible Porsche.
And then, who cares about his Porsche? Fuck his Porsche. But then, so that was the first episode. That was 428, right? So it's 428 and then 429 this week. So just 2 days later, I think it was like 2 days later, right? And then they have this conversation.
Well, and now I need a truck, so now I'm looking at those.
You need a truck now?
Yeah.
You got a tricked out truck, or you can get a man truck like a Ford? It'll be tricked out.
Be a tricked out Ford Raptor, bro.
I like Joe.
How? I think even Brendan looked at him like, what? I mentioned this to you just this week, just the other day. And Brendan, or not Brendan, but Callan just is like, oh, you're getting a truck? A tricked out truck? Like, what? Do you not remember the conversation you had 2 days ago? I don't know. It was bizarre. Someone, obviously Callan is geriatric as fuck, just like everybody talks shit on him for, and he's proving it in the podcast now with his memory. So, in 428, in the first episode this week, they talk about the special Brendan film. I kind of wish I would have just uploaded the video I made last week, because I went over this quite a bit. But yeah, so Brendan filmed his special, his comedy special last week. And I got this from Will Sasso. And and so he filmed his comedy special last week. Bryan and Joe opened for him, which is pretty cool. That's really awesome of them as friends to open up for him, and, you know, being way bigger names than Brendan is, obviously. What's surprising though is that apparently online people were talking about how the show wasn't actually sold out, which it sounds kind of hard to believe but people had like proof or whatever, but it does seem a little weird that a show, I mean, Brendan obviously is not a huge draw, but he's a big enough draw, right, for California, and especially San Diego, where it's just all just bros, you know, like that kind of like bullshit life. And but then also having Joe Rogan and Bryan on the, I don't know, the ticket, what do you call it, the headline, whatever, I don't know what you call it for comedy, but the main card, you know. Joe was the co-main. But yeah, how does that not sell out? Like, you have Joe Rogan on there, you know? Whatever. I thought that was kind of weird. If he allegedly didn't sell out the show special. I don't know why I'm going off on this rant, but Bryan mentions in the podcast this week that he's congratulating Brendan. He's like, you know, it's a great job. You know, you did 134 shows leading up to this. I thought that was kind of weird. 134 shows. Is that the total number of shows Brendan's done, period? Because this is his first special, and he just only a few years ago got into comedy. So is he only gotten on stage 134 times? That's not very much. I mean, good for him that he's able to, you know, make this happen. Obviously, you know, it wouldn't have happened without Joe, obviously. But it's kind of crazy that, I mean, most comics do hundreds and hundreds of sets before they do a special, you know. I mean, even the big name comics like Joe are, you know, it's, I think, what do they say, like every 2 years or something, right? So that's not a lot. Of 134 shows, that's not very much to get to the point where you're launching an hour special. If Joe's only doing one once every 2 years, and he's doing his, you know, spots or whatever at Lights House and what is it, the Comedy Store, every single night, basically, you know, during the weekdays. I mean, that's hundreds and hundreds of shows you're going to rack up in 2 years. So I don't know, I thought that was kind of an interesting figure. And then Chin did this during the special, which I thought was just perfectly Chin.
Oh, how about Chin over there took a piss during the middle of the show?
He got up and peed?
No.
That wouldn't be newsworthy. No, he pissed in his chair.
Out of respect.
Into his buddy's mouth.
No, not mouth.
Hold on.
Out of respect.
He didn't want to get up and leave and cause, you know, and miss any of the show. So he pissed into a bottle.
A cup. The cups that they have there, yeah.
Goddamn samurai.
So you pulled your dong out.
I'm not going to play the whole thing. They'll put that on a clip, I'm positive. You can watch the whole thing. It goes for a few minutes. But that has to be one of the most embarrassing moments for Chin in doing since he started working for Fighter and the Kid. It has to be one of the most embarrassing moments that Brendan actually mentioned it. Because he's just like, shit, off camera as soon as he says it. But seriously, what the fuck, man? What are you doing? You're so goddamn awkward. Just fucking get up and go piss. He was worried that it would distract Brendan, or Brendan would think that he was getting up to leave, like just walk out. It's like, dude, first of all, he's probably can't fucking see anything because he's got light shining in his face, you know? And even if he did notice that it was you, he's not going to think that you're walking out on it. come on, you've been there to see him do comedy before. You're not gonna just walk out on his special. So he pisses into the cup. Like, dude, there's other people sitting around you and you're just pulling on your dick and pissing. There's no chance that people didn't notice that. You can't sit behind a guy who's pulling out his dick and pissing into, like, that's a distinct noise, you know? Like, when you hear someone pissing, that is a distinct noise. You know that noise. And there's no way, if it's like in between punchlines and he's like setting up a joke when people aren't laughing, it's quiet. You know, it's quiet in there. People heard. Everybody around him heard him pissing into a cup and was wondering, what in the fuck is going on here? Probably thinking, I'm never coming to another comedy show with this fucking guy ever again. Oh my god. And then Bryan, man, what the fuck is his deal? He spends like 10, 15 minutes just like crying about how, just making up excuses about his new special that he made and why it's bad. Because it sounds like, I was just listening to Joe Rogan's podcast with, I can't remember the guy's name, but some comic, actually I got it up here, Matt Bronder. And he was talking to him because that guy is releasing his special, like, I don't know, next week or something, but it's not on like a network, like a Netflix special. It's just on, Spotify and iTunes and, whatever, YouTube maybe, I don't know. But that sounds like that's the route that Callan has to go now because it doesn't sound like anybody actually bought it. It sounds like Showtime, HBO, Comedy Central, everybody turned him down. But he's making up all these excuses about why it ended up being bad. And, he's like, I was working beforehand and I shouldn't have, and I should have spent a few more months practicing the material. It's like, dude, there's no way that material wasn't like rock solid because this is the first special you've ever filmed and you're 80. So don't fucking talk about how you didn't have enough time to prepare for this special. He's like, and I didn't edit it. I just sent it in as an hour and a half unedited. What? Dude, you pay a guy to produce your podcast. You're on TV. Like, you know better than to just like send in some shitty unedited raw footage. Like, you pay a guy to do editing, to edit all your podcasts. Like, why didn't you ask him to just edit it? It doesn't make any sense. Like, you're old enough to know better than to be fucking up like that and making up excuses, I don't know. I thought that was just a little bit kind of annoying. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I hate these fucking headphones. I forgot my other ones at work. But, okay. Anyways, Brendan, I feel like I've said it before, I'm not a huge fan of Brendan as far as like his comedy goes, but he does have his moments like where he's actually like hilarious. So keep watching because it's fun to watch. I don't think it's fair to say train wreck. The guy's successful. He's just dumb. He's just dumb. It's all. But he had this funny. I don't know why I have to like preface. It's like when you tell a joke and you're like, yeah, or like you're gonna talk about something political and you're like, I mean, I didn't vote for the guy, but he does make a good point about this thing. Like you have to like preface it because you're like afraid of people being upset because you have like a certain opinion. It's like how I just naturally approach this to like liking a bit or liking something that Brendan did, because it's like you go online and all you see is hate. Like obviously he has to have fans, but you go online and he rightfully earned all of the hate that he gets. And if you're not aware, they did the Fighter and the Kid, Brendan and Bryan. They did an AMA thing on Reddit a while back, and I gotta turn that off. The fucking heater just turned on. So basically, to go on and it's a Ask Me Anything thing. So you just people on the internet, on Reddit. If you don't know what Reddit is, just random fucking people like you and me, and you type in questions and shit, and they're supposed to answer them. And it basically just turned to everybody just trolling the fuck out of them. And Brendan was so oblivious to it, he just didn't get it. And pretty much since then, he's been on a tirade of like talking shit about internet users, and everyone's like a Cheeto finger eating like fat fuck basically, which if you go back and you watch the beginning of the first episode from this week, and he's talking about how he's been eating nothing but pizza and ice cream, you can tell because he's got a huge donut going around that fucking waist now. Brendan's getting a little thick himself, and I don't think he seems to realize that. But I need to stand up and turn off this fucking heater that just turned on because I probably won't be able to hear shit. I'm not gonna cut that out because it's only like a few seconds. I'll just fast forward it. So I keep moving around where I'm like trying to film these things, trying to find better spots in my house or at work to film. So this is my first time doing it here, and we'll see. I think it might end up being a little bit echoey because it's kind of just like a big room, and so I guess we'll see. I think it's probably gonna sound like shit, but I'm committed to this, and I didn't upload last week because I'm an idiot, so I'm just gonna upload these ones no matter what. Even if the chair squeaks loud, and even if it's echoey, and you can't hear shit, or the top of my head's cut off, which it probably is, and I don't realize that right now. I don't know. Holy shit, do I go on terrible fucking rants. So here's that fucking stupid ass clip I was talking about.
But you don't know the Tesla sign? So in Porsche we do this.
Yeah.
In Tesla you guys do
get
this.
each other. Fuck off. That's not
the
true.
gayest car on
Take
the road.
that back.
And then some guys
Take that back.
Some guys put self-auto drive and then just spread their cheeks on the door and go,
That's not-
sweet ride, bro.
That's never happened. I've never.
Auto drive. Look, I'm not even touching it.
That's not true.
Can you see the rings of my asshole?
Nobody.
No, I got a great deal too.
Nope.
No, I'm in Mad Max mode.
Nope.
Maxing
It's
up
never
the street.
happened to me. So don't say that.
What? No, I'll just jump across and suck you off.
That's never happened to me, sir.
That's what Tesla drivers do. We
No,
suck
they
each other
don't.
off.
No, they.
Okay, that's enough. I'm pretty sure I didn't even preface what the fuck the clip was gonna be either. So I don't know. Maybe that's better. I feel like I'm always ruining, at least in my mind. Anytime I'm gonna play a clip, I explain the whole clip and then I play it, and then it's just not funny anymore to me. It's like, well, I just ruined the joke that was funny by telling it as like a normal conversation instead of telling it as a joke. So I don't know. Fuck, what am I even talking about? So anyways, one of the episodes they get in, I don't remember which one, they get into that Gillette commercial during the current events, and I never seen that commercial before, but I remember I heard about it like online or whatever, but I never watched the video about how it's basically just like them making it up to be that like every guy is like a rapist or some shit and just like constantly looking to like abuse women or whatever the fuck. I don't know. It doesn't even seem like a real commercial because it's so fucking bizarre. It's like, what? This is who the fuck approved this? Look, this is, you're just like calling every single guy a fucking rapist, basically. But, so they rightfully, as you would expect, just kind of lay into it, but then they also kind of get off on like weird rants that are kind of, I don't know, them, you know. But what stood out to me is that they never, like, they talked to Chin about it. They asked Chin, you know, and the blah 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 back and forth, but they never ask Kat what she thinks. She never speaks up either. She's just silent the whole time. She doesn't talk a lot, granted, but she, you know, during current events she speaks up. But I just thought it was weird that this thing that's about like this women kind of dynamic in the real world, they don't ask her about her opinions of what she thinks of the commercial or anything. And so maybe that stands out more than if they even had asked her, because it's like, why didn't you talked to him but you didn't ask her? And it's like a thing about like, you know, guys and women and how they interact, but you don't want the opinion of the woman who's sitting right there. I mean, I don't know. Why didn't you just ask her? They didn't even consider like asking her what she thought of it. I thought that's rude. Okay. Anyways, in the second episode this week, they talk about Bryan's boxing skills, of course, and basically just kind of him being terrible at boxing. But what that made me think, like, whatever happened to Bryan and Chin fighting. Like, I remember them hyping that all up, and then it like died off, or maybe I missed some episodes or something. But what the fuck ever happened to that? Like, when is the fight's obviously not happening because they don't talk about it at all. Nobody talks about it. Nobody even brings it up. Even the guests don't bring it up. So what the fuck? What happened to, or did it happen? And I'm just totally missing it. I guess I never actually looked. Yeah, I never actually looked to see if like Bryan and Chin fight. I don't know. Fight night update. Fight back on. Blah blah blah. Let's see. This has been January 2018. Asking about a fight night update. So that was January last year, was like the last video, I think, on this. So I guess it just never... I should probably watch this and find out, and I'm sure they explain what the fuck, why it's not happening. But yeah, just kind of, I thought that was weird. I'm sure this video explains it, and I just never looked. And I should have looked that up before I started this video. Anyways, the current events this week. Anyways, the first episode were terrible, and then the second episode, it was basically just animals, or people fucking animals, or animals fucking people, I guess. Kind of just sucked. Not really good. A couple of good moments out of it, you know, but not really that good. I mean, I feel like the current events are usually not really, at least lately, especially Kat's. I feel like Kat has really bad current events. Like, she's just like pulls shit off of like the top feed off like BuzzFeed or some shit, you know? It's like, it's just not anything that people are really interested in. Maybe I'm just fucking cynical. It's just not the kind of, I just don't really care about tabloid news. And so maybe that's why I'm just like, I don't really give a shit. Or like, I don't really care about this stupid, like, cute YouTube video or like whatever. I don't know, whatever. I'm sure some people like it. Otherwise, they probably would complain a ridiculous amount about how bad it is, unless people are so distracted and caught up on just shitting on Brendan all the time, and then shitting on Callan for being 80, that they don't have enough like energy left to shit on the current events being. But the good news is that usually the interns only last about 6 months before Bryan scares them off and tries to rape them, or whatever it is he does, and we get a new one, and then we get new current events. So maybe a few more months, there'll be a new intern who they don't pay, and eventually gets sick of putting up with them being terrible. Fuck. Oh my god, Bryan spends so much time describing this fucking guy who walks into Starbucks and how he had great legs or whatever the fuck. It's like, and he spends just a ridiculous amount of time describing this guy, talking about this guy, just hyping this guy up, and he's just some random fucking guy. It's not even like, oh, that's the guy who was in the newest whatever fucking movie. No, it's just a random guy. He's not a comic. He's not an actor. He's just some random guy that Bryan's just got this hard on for. And he's like a fitness trainer or some shit. And then Brendan finally calls him out. Like, what in the fuck? Okay, there's the picture. Nobody gives a shit about this guy, though. Like, shut up, man. It's like Bryan got trolled for so long on being gay and liking guys that he has convinced himself that he, in fact, is a gay man and now needs to check out guys. Like, that's the only reasonable explanation, is that Bryan got trolled on it for so long that he's believing it in himself now. Like, I feel like in a few more years, he's just going to pull a Bruce Jenner. And then that'll be the end of Bryan. I don't know. What would his name be? I feel like he's probably given himself a name, because they definitely role-played pretty much everything. So, yeah, I wonder, what's his transition name? But, alright, let's just end with this clip. I think that's all I've got, so...
there's a sequel to Ghostbusters, but it's going to be the actual men's Ghostbusters. Again? No, the men's one.
I want to apologize to all the Me Too women out there.
No.